Have you ever been online, about to do something you do every day, and suddenly you're faced with a strange challenge? It might seem like a minor inconvenience, but there's a lot more going on behind the scenes than you might think. You might see distorted letters, twisted and turned in ways that make them hard to read, or be asked to click on pictures of traffic lights, crosswalks, or storefronts. These seemingly simple tasks are actually quite complex in their purpose. Sometimes you might even need to solve a simple math problem, like adding two numbers together. It all seems straightforward, but there's a reason behind these tests. This, my friends, is the world of CAPTCHA. It's a tool designed to differentiate between humans and automated bots. CAPTCHA stands for Completely Automated Public Turing Test to tell computers and humans apart. Quite a mouthful, isn't it? But it's a crucial part of our online experience. It's a mouthful, I know, but stick with me. These tests are more than just a nuisance. They're essential for maintaining the integrity of the internet. These tests are the often invisible guardians of the internet, working tirelessly to protect websites and users from spam, bots, and other malicious activities. They act as a first line of defense. Imagine them as digital bouncers, standing at the entrance of every website, ensuring that only legitimate users get through. They help maintain a safe and secure online environment. They're like those bouncers standing outside a club, only instead of checking IDs, they're making sure you're an actual human. This helps prevent automated systems from abusing online services. By verifying that you're a real person, CAPTCHAs help keep the internet a safer place for everyone. But, as with any security measure, they aren't perfect. But as with any good bouncer, sometimes CAPTCHA can be a little overzealous, blocking legitimate users from accessing the content they need. This can be frustrating, especially when you're in a hurry. Blocking legitimate users from accessing the content they need can be a significant drawback. It's a delicate balance between security and accessibility. In this essay, we're going to delve into the world of CAPTCHA, exploring its purpose, its pitfalls, and the ongoing efforts to improve it. We'll look at how it has evolved over the years and what the future might hold. We'll explore its purpose, its pitfalls, and the potential for a future where online security and user experience can coexist harmoniously. It's a fascinating journey into the mechanics of online security, and the potential for a future where online security and user experience can coexist harmoniously. Imagine a world where you can browse freely without constantly proving you're not a robot. So buckle up, grab your favorite beverage, and let's decode the intriguing world of CAPTCHA together. It's a journey that promises to be both enlightening and essential for anyone who spends time online. At its core, CAPTCHA is all about differentiation. It's about creating a task that's easy for humans to solve, but incredibly difficult for computers. Think of it like this. You can easily tell the difference between a picture of a cat and a dog, but a computer might struggle with the nuances of fur patterns and facial features. That's where those distorted letters, image recognition tasks, and simple puzzles come in. By presenting these challenges, CAPTCHA tests exploit the differences in human perception and computer vision. We can effortlessly identify patterns, decipher distorted text, and understand context, while bots and automated scripts often stumble over these seemingly simple tasks. But why go through all this trouble? Why bother with these seemingly annoying tests? Well, the answer is simple: security. By weeding out bots and automated programs, CAPTCHA helps protect websites and online services from a wide range of threats. These threats can range from spam comments flooding your favorite blog, to malicious bots attempting to brute force their way into your online accounts. CAPTCHA, for all its good intentions, is a bit like that friend who's always looking out for you but sometimes takes things a bit too far. You know the type, they mean well, but their overprotective nature can sometimes be more of a hindrance than a help. They want to keep you safe, but in doing so, they can make things a bit more complicated than they need to be. Sure, they want to keep you safe, but their overprotective nature can occasionally be more annoying than helpful. This is especially true when you're in a hurry or trying to get something done quickly. The last thing you need is an extra layer of complexity slowing you down. The same goes for CAPTCHA. While these tests play a crucial role in maintaining online security, they can also be a major source of frustration for users. Imagine you're trying to log into your email to send an urgent message, and suddenly you're faced with a series of blurry images asking you to identify traffic lights or crosswalks. It can be incredibly frustrating, especially if you get it wrong and have to start all over again. We've all been there, squinting at blurry letters, clicking endlessly on images of traffic lights, only to be met with another round of the same frustrating test. It's like a never-ending cycle that leaves you feeling more like a robot than a human. And let's not forget the times when the images are so unclear that even a human can't decipher them. It's enough to make anyone want to throw their laptop out the window. It's a classic case of a balancing act. The need for robust security measures versus the desire for a seamless and user-friendly online experience. On one hand, we need to protect our online spaces from bots and malicious actors. On the other hand, we don't want to make it so difficult for legitimate users that they give up in frustration. It's a delicate balance that requires careful consideration and thoughtful implementation. When implemented thoughtfully, CAPTCHA can be a valuable tool, but when it's overused or poorly designed, it can feel like an insurmountable barrier between you and the content you're trying to access. The key is to find that sweet spot where security measures are effective without being overly intrusive. This might involve using more advanced technologies like machine learning to create smarter CAPTCHA tests that are easier for humans to solve, but harder for bots to crack. So how do we find that sweet spot? How do we ensure that CAPTCHA does its job without driving users up the wall? It's a question that requires ongoing research and innovation. Developers are constantly exploring new approaches, such as using behavioral analysis to distinguish between humans and bots, or implementing invisible CAPTCHA tests that work in the background without disrupting the user experience. It's a question that researchers and developers are constantly grappling with, exploring new approaches and technologies to strike that delicate balance between security and user experience. The goal is to create a safer online environment without sacrificing usability. As technology continues to evolve, so too will our methods for achieving this balance, ensuring that we can enjoy the best of both worlds: robust security and a seamless user experience. Section 4. When CAPTCHA goes wrong. Tales of frustration and exclusion. We've all been there. You're trying to buy concert tickets online, the clock is ticking, and then bam! You're hit with a CAPTCHA that seems impossible to solve. The pressure mounts as you realize that every second counts. You frantically try to decipher the jumbled letters and numbers, but they seem to blur together, making it nearly impossible to get right on the first try. You squint at the distorted letters, try refreshing the page a dozen times, but nothing seems to work. Each failed attempt only adds to your frustration. You start to wonder if the system is broken or if it's just you. The CAPTCHA seems to be mocking you, standing as a gatekeeper between you and your much-desired tickets. The frustration builds, and you're left wondering if you'll ever get those tickets. You might even start to question why such a complicated system is in place. Is it really necessary to have such a difficult barrier just to prove you're not a robot? The whole experience leaves you feeling helpless and excluded. Unfortunately, this is not just a hypothetical scenario, it's a reality for many internet users. The struggle with CAPTCHA is a common experience, and it doesn't just affect those trying to buy concert tickets. It can impact anyone trying to access a wide range of online services, from banking to booking appointments. CAPTCHA, while intended to protect us, can sometimes have the opposite effect, creating barriers that exclude legitimate users from accessing essential services and information. The very tool designed to keep bots at bay can end up alienating real people. This is especially true for those who may already face challenges in the digital world. Imagine, for instance, someone with a visual impairment trying to access critical health information online, only to be met with a CAPTCHA that requires them to identify images or decipher distorted text. For them, what is a minor inconvenience for others becomes an insurmountable obstacle. The lack of accessibility features in many CAPTCHA systems can make it nearly impossible for visually impaired users to navigate. Or consider individuals in rural areas with limited internet access who are repeatedly timed out because their connection isn't fast enough to complete the CAPTCHA before it expires. The slow internet speeds in these areas mean that by the time the CAPTCHA loads, the session has already timed out, forcing them to start the process all over again. This can be incredibly frustrating and time-consuming. These are just a few examples of how CAPTCHA, despite its good intentions, can create unintended consequences, disproportionately affecting vulnerable users and hindering their ability to fully participate in the digital world. The digital divide is further widened by these barriers, making it harder for those already at a disadvantage to access the resources and opportunities they need. It's crucial that we find more inclusive solutions that protect against bots without excluding real people. Section 5. Accessibility roadblocks, CAPTCHA, and the challenges for all. The internet is supposed to be a level playing field, a space where everyone can access information and connect with others, regardless of their physical or cognitive abilities. However, the widespread use of CAPTCHA often undermines this ideal, creating roadblocks for individuals with disabilities. Imagine for a moment the experience of a visually impaired user trying to navigate a website protected by a CAPTCHA that relies on distorted text. Even with the help of screen readers, deciphering these jumbled letters can be an impossible task. Similarly, individuals with motor impairments might struggle to interact with CAPTCHAs that require precise mouse movements or timed responses. And for those with cognitive disabilities, understanding the complex instructions or solving the logic puzzles often presented in CAPTCHA tests can be a significant hurdle. These accessibility challenges highlight a critical flaw in the current CAPTCHA system. While these tests aim to differentiate between humans and bots, they often fail to account for the diverse range of human abilities.